Hello, English in Action friends. This is Dr. Donnelly, and I'm going to talk to you today about one more way that you can find sources for your research paper. And I'm going to talk to you about a way that I think is super effective and super helpful in establishing your credibility and also in getting you to kind of the source of the research in your field. And so what we're going to talk about today is using the reference section of the articles that you've already got to find really important, foundational, groundbreaking research in whatever field you're studying. So my journey to do that starts with this lovely article, Keeping It Real, Valuing Authenticity in the Writing Classroom. So this is an article that I actually have printed out, and I definitely recommend to you guys that you print things out if that's what helps you learn. I know a lot of you are really used to annotating for claim and for evidence in Article of the Week. So this can be really, really helpful. So don't be shy of printing things out. Print double-sided, be respectful of the environment, but it's a kind of valid use of paper if it really helps you learn. But anyways, that's a side note. What I really want to talk about is how I was reading this article and I was really finding it useful and enjoyable. And as I was reading it, it has a couple sections. It starts off with talking about the challenge of maintaining authenticity in school. And then it says committing to authenticity as a practice. And as I was reading that, first it kind of defined authenticity, which I thought was kind of dumb. Not dumb, but just it wasn't helpful for me. But then it started to define the different elements of authentic writing, including authentic genre. And it starts off this authentic genre section with saying, Nell K. Duke et al. Define authentic literacy activities, which is exactly what I'm getting at in my paper. Like, I want to know about writing for real world audiences and communicating to real world audiences. So Duke et al. Define that term as those that replicate or reflect reading and writing activities that occur in the lives of people outside of a learning to read and write context or purpose. So that is kind of an important definition, I think. So, of course, what I do, I flip over to the backside and I look at my works cited page and I see Nell K. Duke, Authentic Literacy Activities for Developing Comprehension and Writing in the Reading Teacher. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Maybe I should look that up. But of course, I don't. I just go on to doing some other thing. In this case, that other thing is looking at creating science picture books for an authentic audience. And I'm reading. I read the introduction, talks about the Common Core, and then dives into the theoretical framework, which says, Duke et al., 2006, stated, and goes on to say that each authentic literacy activity has a writer and a writer who is writing to a real reader, and a reader who is reading what that writer wrote. So a little complicated, but I see that name popping up again, right in the beginning of the article, right in the theoretical framework. If I'm finding somebody there over and over again, I know that's a foundational text. I know that's an article that I have to find and read. I can't just say Defoe and Syed and also Anne L. Rod Whitney, they all have quotes from this person. No, I need to go and find that article myself. So here it is, Authentic Literacy Activities for Developing Comprehension and Writing in the Reading Teacher, number 60. What I would do in this situation is just copy that, Control C, hop on over to my browser, type in Research It CT. As you can see, I use a lot, pops up right away. Go right on over there. I want to go to high schools, start with my one search. Just paste it in there, search for it, and it's the first thing that pops up, right? Authentic Literacy Activities for Developing Comprehension and Writing by Duke, Nell K., Purcell Gates, Victoria, Hall, Lee A., Tower, Kathy, in the Reading Teacher, volume 60. That's exactly what I was looking for. And luckily, I can get the whole thing in PDF full text right here. So I would just click on that. and download it. And as you know, I would then use my naming conventions to name it. I would put it in my folder and be able to turn to it as a text to read. I also usually make a list somewhere or highlight somewhere texts like this that everybody is referencing because I want to read those first. Those are my most important texts to turn to and understand and analyze before I then go to maybe some secondary texts. So definitely a good way to find texts, definitely a good way to find the most important text in your topic area. Definitely something that will make you seem like a pro because you'll know what the most important texts are in your topic area. And definitely a reason why we need to cite our sources effectively, right? Because then people will know where our information is coming from, know that it's credible, but also be able to follow up on it themselves. So give it a try and you'll probably like it.